What's happening, guys? Welcome back to episode 7. Picking up from St. Frangelico Cathedral Chapel. What a mouthful. So once we have made it to the cathedral, there is a few things to cover that might be helpful to you guys. So for one, we're going to go ahead and take off the cube. Like I said, if you go talk to Giangio next time you meet him, he's going to give you a wish cube. When you use this item, you can only use it once between resting. It'll give you healing over time with the wish cube that you're going to get. However, use it, you lose it. So there's only one use. Later on, we'll be able to buy more, but that's not for some time. So with that being said, I wouldn't even use it right now because you might regret that, right? But more importantly, we can go ahead and put on our attribute resistance. Attribute cleanse is going to go a long way here, just in case. Now you're going to notice you have special is for stuff we haven't ran into yet. It's coming, but you don't have to worry about using that stuff yet. It's nice to hold on to it. Aside from that, obviously we do want to go with fire here. If you guys want to put on flame burst instead of puppet string, that choice is there. Now there's one weapon combination that I think is really dope, and I'm going to tell you guys why. Because when you're dealing with the petrification disease enemies, for one, they're exceptionally weak to fire. Now, I'm not going to use this, but it's really good, so I want to bring this up and show you guys why. So salamander dagger blade with electric coil stick handle. So the electric coil stick was your electric weapon. It is really good against puppets. Salamander was really good against the undead, but it's a dagger. So this gives you a little bit more reach to the dagger. It's not exceptional, but it does come out kind of quick for this game at least, and it's going to be building up that fire damage. Now you would have to upgrade this to at least +3 to be effective, but with the weapon art it does, the handle art, you can buff that fire even more, because that's what it does for the electric coil stick. So now you're getting, look at that fire just radiating off of it, and you are going to fucking melt through these enemies. So I do want to call that out. It could be nice, but it's going to cost us souls to upgrade, it's going to cost us materials to upgrade, and then we lose our reach. So I'm just going to go with this. We still have our fire buff, but I did want to at least bring that up to you guys. Now if you were to fast travel out, then fast travel back in, Giangio will be right here. However, as we progress through here, we'll fast travel and it should be just fine. In fact, we might just be able to, let's see if this works. So I noticed if I rest here, it doesn't usually work that way. Let's see. You're trying to reset the world state, but for whatever reason, resting does not typically do it. You have to actually travel out then back in. Fact of the matter is, we're going to get a shortcut upcoming, so that did work. Good. We can go and get this knocked out. Typically, I do it when I get my shortcut. Let's go ahead and make sure our quests are caught up to date. So once you talk to him here, you can get your wish stone. So let's go and equip that. Like I said, use is one use of it. I'd save off until we could buy more. It's up to you guys, or use it on the boss, but you're not going to have it afterwards. So this is something that did throw me off my first playthrough. I'm like, wait, I used it once. Where's it at? I could not use it again. So as soon as you go on over, get your choir sheep music, then we're going to head on down. So that really big beast you guys just see there, that was actually the boss. So you won't see him for quite some time. It's actually really hard to describe what the hell he actually is. He's a big boy. Big, deadly enemy. Now, this next area is probably the most frustrating area for me on my first time playthrough, besides the last chapter of the game. You're going to be working your way up on scaffolding, literally like walking across beams at times. You have new enemies that are like throwing projectiles really big. There's a lot of very deadly enemies here, but they're constantly just knocking you off, and it kills you every time. So this area can be frustrating. Now there's ways to make things easier, and once we get a shortcut, it'll push us past that point. Just giving you guys a heads up. It's giving you a heads up. So going on in, let's raise our resistances. This is acid. Later on, there's actually a hidden hatch in the floor that leads you somewhere, and we'll get to this, but we have got to get rid of that acid, guys. There's 3 enemies here. Usually when I use the puppet string, that's what will happen. We group them all up together, take them all out at once. Now the items, don't worry about it. Like I said, we're going to come back here in a bit, and we'll take care of all that stuff. But let's try to keep everybody out of harm's way as much as possible. Now moving up from this point, you're about to meet a new enemy. She's going to be the one throwing a bunch of bullshit at you. Aside from her, though, there's going to be 2 others. Usually he waits to climb up until you get closer, so if he doesn't come for you, just know he's gonna. Now, she's big. Look at that big bloated arm because of the petrification disease. He's also throwing acid out at you. Just be cautious. And the thing about it with those beams is even if you're deflecting, you get pushed back. So, even if you're playing it smart, you're deflecting, everything's lined up, you can be pushed off. what I said. You want to try to move through here quickly. It's risky, to say the least, because there are these small beams, but, you know, it's worth trying. And once you're going up, if you turn around, that's going to progress you. However, what we want to do is break on through, drop, turn around, pick that up, then we're going to drop straight off. There's going to be one guy here. Knock him off. Grab your upgrade, run, jump. As always, dodging and jumping do not feel good in this game. It feels very shady. That's because they did that intentionally to make sure that you're just sticking in the fray, deflecting, and getting good at close quarter combat. With that being said, sometimes for traversal we have to do this, so it's going to feel sketchy for sure. It's going to feel really shady, but you know, it needs to. From this point, I like to run forward until she goes out so we don't get hit. Run, 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 so don't get knocked off. Wait. Hit her down. So she's really big and, you know, really intimidating, but if you notice, she doesn't have that much damage as far as with our weapon. I mean, we're only at +3, run right through. You will over there. I guess you could get it now, but we're not going to. No, you can't. There's going to be a drop that we get to at the top that gets us that chest and all that stuff, so don't worry about it just yet. I did want to point it out, because I'm sure someone saw it. Push him in. I love about our skills, every time, I said this last episode, every time you use a puppet string, kill like 3 guys, you get that use back, so it's not bad. Now be careful. We really need this to line up. So we're looking for a break. But if she tries to throw shit, so you have to wait for her to throw, and then move. Ugh. Like I said, it's rough, guys, so it's not bullshit about that. 1, 2. Put her down. And once you have, we can go and backtrack this way. Get you a star fragment. Careful. And so I like to run, but I don't advise that for a first-time player. That's what I like to do. I don't expect everybody to be comfortable with that. Probably have hundreds of hours in the game. And I still hate this place just the same. It's not any less stressful than it was the first time. So we're up to the trap. So over here on the right hand side, you're going to see these little planks. It doesn't look like you have the space, but you do, as long as you're not like running at the wall. Now we're going to run for it. There's going to be an enemy. There's actually 2, but 1 immediately. And get ready. Where's she at? She usually comes around that corner. Or she drops. She comes from somewhere. Usually she just kind of shows up. There she is. Yeah, usually she just kind of shows up right up your ass. Now, with them taken out, there's one thing to talk about. If you were to go across like that ladder, it takes you up to like another trap like this, but it does lead to a Trinity door. Early on, you get the keys before the doors. And I said eventually the game throws a curveball and you start running into a Trinity door before you get the key for it. It makes you think that you missed something somewhere. This is not the case. This is, you know, the game making sure you're paying attention. So when we move forward, we will eventually get a Trinity key. Then we come back here. It's actually a bit too, but it's just, you know, the game making sure you remember where things are and just to make sure you're paying attention. Obviously, this is not something I got my first playthrough. I missed it myself. Now moving forward, here's 2 little enemies, 1 big one. So I like to try to rush them down. You're probably going to get hit at least twice. I want a fair fight if possible. Thank you. By fair, I mean, you know, just one-on-one fight. Because she is technically an elite enemy. So far, wow, we haven't even got hit yet. I cannot believe, I'm not being cocky at all. I'm literally I'm surprised. I'm in shock. Because usually, like I said, I mean, obviously, you know, taking notes for the walkthrough, make things easy as possible. But yeah, usually I have a little bit of trouble here, to say the least. You guys see the, you see the layout, you see the setup. So if you're having a hard time, stick with it. You'll get it, guys. You'll get it. So we're gonna run, jump, knock this over, get rid of the acid. Like I said, we are gonna have to go back down there and clear that up. However, if we keep pushing forward, there's going to be a shortcut that does exactly that for us. So just run across. If you guys are worried about it, right there's your shortcut. However, I like to go over here, just knock this out first, right here. That's, you know, we're going to have to take that all the way down. There's 1 enemy. If you just play this patient, you can go and get rid of her, then there are no risks. Although that was about a risk. I don't know why she spawned in like that, but didn't do us much favors. Crescent Moonstone. Then we go and backtrack. So right to the left, we're going to have this. And that other door, you see, that's how we push forward. Once again, we don't want to do this just yet. So this was to the right when you originally came in. What we're going to do is change the way that operates, right? So instead of going down, now it goes up. We can use that as a shortcut. Then from the left, you're going to drop, turn around. There's two enemies. You only see one immediately, but drop, take her. Come on, stamina, Jesus. And this is something really nice. This is your first Legion plug. So with this, you can actually craft any Legion arm that's on your menu. Doesn't matter which one it is. Doesn't matter how early you are in the game or late you are in the game. If you like something, get it. So you can craft the one that does the mines and the explosions, or craft the shield, whatever. You know, I did like that because it actually gives you freedom. Then from here, if you guys want to rest, it's there. Like I said, I've been really, really blessed so far to where, oh, no, we still have to do that. To where I haven't got killed or hurt even, so I'm not going to rest. Now, we do need to do this, though. I was going to do it later, but I'm like, why? You know, it only takes a second. It's just a quick hatch to open. Well, you know, it's kind of optional content. I was going to save it for the end of the episode, but we actually have a lot to do this episode. So going on down, this is under the hatch on the floor. Once you got rid of the acid, this path has opened. Now, this is going to lead you to a chest to get you your first decoder. So decoders are secrets within the game. You're going to take this decoder on over to Vanini. He's going to decode it, usually get a picture. Then you have to find the location from the picture, and then you'll go find rewards. Typically, it's always going to be an area you've already completed. But what it does is it gives you access to somewhere you could not get into. For instance, when we did the house on Elysian Boulevard, there was the apartment next door, 221B. Told you it was a callback to Sherlock Holmes. Well, with that decoder, we can get in that house now. So that's what I'm saying. It's just hidden stuff, secrets within the game to get you more quartz and outfits typically. But sometimes you get your rings, so all this does want to be done. It's kind of like Trinity doors, right? Works the same way. So if you find ways to access the doors, you get the rewards. Now, once again, if you guys would like to rest, the choice is there. We're going to keep on pushing because, you know, we still have all of our health. We have all of our heals, miraculously. Now, moving on from this point, we're going to go and buff up here. There's a new enemy here. Very dangerous. Very deadly. If you got thermite, use it. So she's got like a big shield for an arm. Really weak to fire. Oh, we gotta be close. Yes. It's got really weird timing, guys. Thank you. God, we just made that look easy. It's really not that important. The fire helps. The fire really helps. But usually she'll like ram at you with the shield, and she does these really weird swipes and overhead slams. She'll like smack you with the shield, then she'll turn that same fist to a really big ball, like a boulder, and do a big overhead. But, you know, a lot of it's delayed on the timing, and it's really difficult to learn. You'll fight them enough to, you know, to figure it out. But personally, I struggle quite a bit with that enemy. Quite a bit. Now, from this point, we're going to go get you something else good. This is what I told you guys last episode when we headed here. I said, you know, the game's going to start to really open up. You got your first septic vessel, your first Legion plug, and you got your first cross supply box. So this is going to be used to upgrade the shop of Paladina. So you have quest items to upgrade two different merchants. You have Paladina, and you have the Butler of Vanini. The Butler of Vanini gives you like other type of weapon buffs like acid and, you know, other things. Then he can sell you like different cranks for your handles. You can also sell your defensive parts as such as your liners, which is pretty cool. Then Paladina's got like consumables, cords, upgrades for your boss weapons, and, you know, a lot of really good stuff. So you want to try to get all of these items. Now, either way, guys, with all that caught up, we have made it to the end portion of the chapter. So we have one area left, and then your boss. Now, there's quests go on here. One quest relates to a record, a lot of very important things. But most importantly, trophies aside, is the NPC we're about to meet, because he's going to give us access to boss weapons and boss rings. So I'm really excited about this. Been waiting quite a while. I mean, episode 7, we finally get boss weapons, you know. I mean, it's almost halfway through the game, if I'm being honest. Not quite, about a third of the way through the game. You have to wait to actually get, you know, like a permanent weapon you could use. That's fine, because they are very, very unique and special. So from here, obviously, you know, going over to the right, grab your items, and we're going to go back here and meet Cecile. So Cecile is like a nun, follow of the boss here. So we need to exhaust her dialogue. We're going to find a quest item. We need to make sure we give this to her before the boss. Then after the boss, we can come and get a record. It's pretty straightforward. Very missable, pretty straightforward. Alright. Now once you have that dialogue caught up, we can go this way and start going on in. This next area is a little bit of a mess. It's not too bad, but you're gonna have these big pustules, I guess you can call them. Oh, the fucking trap. Did I step on it? I thought we were already past that point. There's floor traps. It's usually up there. I may have stepped on another one. They're shooting spikes out. It's gonna happen. Either way, when we move forward, there's gonna be these big pustules on the ceiling. They'll drop and build up acid on you, interrupt your attacks. It's really nasty. You have a few of these enemies. There's also a bridge with Big Bertha, so I'm gonna try to be careful here. Get your iframes if possible. And if we fight under the bridge, we're really out of harm's way. Thank you. Run. Don't worry about the holes. We're actually going to drop down there on purpose, but we have to come back through this, so I want to make sure the enemy's dead. Take her on out. Quickly. Run. It doesn't really matter where you drop, just don't drop on a trap. There's technically three items, so watch out. You see those traps? You can see them pretty clearly, I feel like, but still. This is a different butterfly, so this is a trophy for getting all your butterflies. It doesn't mean like every butterfly in the game. No, there's different butterflies. You have like smaller ones and bigger ones. They're called dimensional butterflies. So once you've killed like one of each type, you get a trophy for this. Typically comes, I think, chapter 8. 7? Chapter 7? Something like that. Either way, right here, Legion Caliper, so that's your first 2. Then there's some lore over here about the final boss of the game. You have to climb up first. But that's right here if you guys want to check it out. You're not going to understand. Yeah, we haven't really touched onto the story yet because it ain't really got started yet, believe it or not. But they call it the arm of God, you arrogant ones. You have called the wrath of God upon yourselves. So when we take out this boss, that's when the story really starts like open up like everything else. Like I said, it starts really, you know, getting into the game. You get a little bit of a glimpse of the true story and what's really happening, but not much. But as you get later in the game, you're going to start meeting other characters, you know, learn their parts to play, and, you know, who's doing what, and you know, you just get really deep into the story at that point. But it just takes a bit. Right now, we're just killing puppets because they're acting out. You know, there's a puppet frenzy. Puppets are acting out, so we're killing them as we go through. And then there's also with the puppet frenzy, has also been the petrification disease, and we're fighting these guys, but we don't know why. We don't know who's the bad guy, what's their end game. That gets revealed as we go along. But you know, it does start to happen after this, because every time we've killed a boss, we've released a large amounts of ergo. Ergo is very powerful stuff. You know, it's a substance that's very powerful. Well, there are certain characters in the game that use this to their advantage for all types of twisted stuff, and you guys will learn that. Once we kill enough bosses, we're, you know, giving someone in particular a lot of power because they've been collecting all that ergo that's being released. So that's kind of what's happening, and there's much more to this lore. I went through this lore 2 games and didn't really understand it until I started getting into the lore. I'm like, whoa, okay. About like the stalkers and the legendary stalker, and yeah, there's all types of cool stuff happening. It's so much deeper than I thought. Alright, so now that, you know, we're all caught up, over here you'll see an item. You can barely see it. We get that in a bit, don't worry about it. Both of these sides are blocked off, so we have to move quickly through here. If you guys want to boost resistances, it's not going to hurt. Now as soon as you get this item, we can get a backstab on this guy. It's very consistent, lines up every time like that. But we don't want to stick in here for long, because what you don't realize about decay, it's not just your health that's going to decay, it's also your weapon durability. If that goes off, our weapon's just going to get torn up. We have a pretty tough fight ahead. In fact, let's get him buff up. It's right here. It's that big guy we found on the bridge. Now, for whatever reason, here is kind of a stick too, guys. Because right to this combo, a really big combo. So if you have, you have the resources for special attack, level fire, you're going to do exactly that. You're going to run right through the guy. Now, this is just overlooking where we just were, so it just drops you back down. You're not missing anything here. Now, from this point, we are going to go get boss weapons. Really exciting stuff. Because this game took a lot of influence from Sekiro, you see that, but it also took a lot of influence from Souls-likes in general, and a lot from Bloodborne. So, I think every boss weapon is actually a trick weapon of some type. Basic, weapons we got now, like they're kind of cool. They have pretty cool weapon arts. You can get very creative.
Damn it!
Boss weapons are truly special.
Monsters everywhere. I need to grab my share and leave.
They're truly unique. They're really nice. So, we haven't talked about this because it didn't make sense to do so before this point. I told you not to spend your rare ergo. They're only worth 5,000 pieces. You could easily farm that because you would highly regret it. You're gonna miss your boss stuff. So you have a choice to make. It takes 2 playthroughs to get everything. You're either going to get a weapon or you're going to get a ring. That's how it works. The rings are very special, really nice, and so are the weapons. Now, starting off, you pretty much have a weapon for everybody. You actually, 2 motivity weapons and 1 technique weapon, but still, that's in general going to cover everybody. There is not a single boss weapon in the game or DLC for advanced. Advanced are only going to be basic weapons. Kind of a letdown. I know. But, that's what it is. So, this is Aladoro, kind of. His quest is very important. Needs to be done multiple different ways as far as getting your platinum on your new game and all that. So, make sure you send him to Hotel Crop. Very important for your first playthrough. Send him to Vanini Works for your second. Now, his quest, we get really into his quest late game. He's a snake. I'm not going to spoil beyond that. He's a fucking snake. But you need to do his quest a certain way to get 1 record because it actually ties into other NPCs. And then you have to do his quest another way to get other records. Because of how it ties into another very specific NPC. So we get into this pretty late in the game. I think it's like the end of chapter 8. So with that being said, guys, we're going to break down a lot with Aladoro at that point when it makes sense to do so, as far as the rewards, how his quest needs to play out, what happens depending on your choices. I'll let you guys know your choices and your reward, everything. But it doesn't make sense right now. We're just meeting him. We're not getting into any of that. So what we are going to cover is boss weapons. So 3 boss weapons or 3 boss rings. Now, there's some really strong choices. 7 cold, and the first boss you killed, second, third, that they're in order. So 7 cold spring sword was the loading screen. That was P's main weapon. This thing is absolutely phenomenal. It actually has the handle art. It has a counter attack, so it's like a true parry. So where if you time it right, the enemy swings at you, you kind of smack their weapon out of the way, and then come down with this huge monster slam that does a lot of damage. Then the weapon art, the blade art, is actually like the Blasphemous Blade from Elden Ring, where you get that big overhead, you send this huge wall of ergo out. It's really powerful, really good scaling. It's good for quality, it's good for motivity, it's good everywhere. Same thing here, good for quality, motivity, it's good everywhere. But yeah, the moveset's very powerful. I'm gonna pick it up, but just talk about it. It's a really good weapon. If I said at the beginning, I didn't really want to recommend a build because no matter what you did, you're deflecting, you're attacking. That's never going to change. However, this weapon has a very powerful moveset. If it's your first time playthrough, you are struggling, this weapon with the puppet string, that could be a build I would recommend. I mean, it's simplistic, but God, is it resourceful. It's so good. So I'm going to be picking this up. Your other choice would be right down here. Enables dodging even with low stamina. I'll pick that up New Game Plus. Not worried about it. You can get all weapons first playthrough, then all rings is next. But the fact of the matter is, for me personally, there's some rings that make you very strong with weapons that make you really strong to go very well together. I love this weapon. It's very unique, really cool. I think the special, it's an umbrella, so it's a rapier. That's the type of weapon it is. Don't really care for it. Really cool. Very good damage. A-scaling techniques, as you can imagine, it's really good. The weapon art kind of pops open the umbrella and does a really big hit. It's really cool. It's rapier. Don't care for it. But this ring, on the other hand, this is going to give you a massive boost to damage. So increases weapon attack in proportion to the number of Fable slots. So the more Fable slots you have with upgrades in your tree, the more damage you're going to get. So if you were not using your weapon art, you're not really thinking of it, as your Fable is full, you just get a buff. I mean, how good is that? So I'm going to pick that up instead. And then over here you have 2 really solid choices. And for me, I don't fucking know which one I want, because this, if you do a deflect, a parry, you get a damage boost. So, Fable Arts for getting damage boost every time we parry, boost damage more. That sounds very potent. However, this weapon's worth talking about. Since it's a walkthrough, I want to show this off. So before we go any more forward, that's exactly what we're going to do. Now, this is special. I want to make, do we have, yeah. So, the handle art does these really big, I'm sorry, the blade art does really big swipes, very potent damage. The handle gives you a boost to stamina regeneration and then turns this to this pole arm. It's not temporary. You can run around as long as you want. You'll use Fable again to actually convert it back. But this is the moveset right here, guys. This is a nice pole arm. It's not super slow, you know, it's not quick. It's a big, it's a true strength weapon. It's beefy, it's big, it's heavy. So, you know, it's not going to be fast, but for what it is, it has good speed to it. So that's light attacks, and big beefy light attacks, big beefy swings. Heavy attacks, super cool. Wop, wop. So, it's got a lot going on. Then you haven't seen the blade. If you want to see it, it's a series of swipes. It's really, really nice. And then over here, 7 coiled, like I said, this is your guy. It's your first playthrough. Keep it simple. Do a motivity build. I'm telling you, puppet string with this, you're in good hands. It's just a regular greatsword instead of, you know, colossal greatsword. So really nice. I mean, a lot of overhead chops, but you have wide swings there too. The charge heavy is where it shines, in my opinion. Boom, boom. And you get a big beefy follow. And if you notice, it has like the panels that pop out of the sword on the sides. That's what does the damage. But that comes out when you do your charge. Watch. You can barely see it, but really damaging stuff. Super, super cool weapon. Like I said, the handle art does a deflect to counterattack if you can time it correctly. Fucking devastating. And then the blade art does pretty much Blasphemous Blade's moveset. So that's what I'm be using, keeping it simple. When we get to the DLC, I'm be doing a quality build. And, you know, we'll break that stuff down later because there's going to be a guide that we want to cover. DLC prep, get you guys ready. You know, it's not for a long time. So, I don't even need carriers right now, so let's switch things up a bit. We're going to boost our damage. I guess we will go with durability, just a lack of, you know, anything else at the time. The other stuff just takes a bit. I guess we'll go with health. I don't like fake stats. Let's see what our health looks like without it. Not bad. I mean, we're at 20 levels, right? Yeah, because I don't want to get dependent on fake stats. I say that a lot, because you lose the ring, you lose health. I don't like that. So I guess we'll go damage boost, weapon consumption, and carrier's amulet. Because the weapon consumption ring actually stacks with our skill. While we're at full durability, we get a damage boost, so here we are. Now, your regular weapon's at +3, your boss weapon has no upgrades. You might think that that's off, you know, it doesn't balance. It's not true. Boss weapons are so much more potent. They only go to +5. Regular weapons go to +10. So, you know, if we could put one upgrade, we're like at a +3 regular weapon. You know what I mean? So don't think too much about that. Don't think it's not worth using. They're very potent weapons. Look at that. Boom. Just destroying everything. Really nice. So either way, guys, everything up to this point is good. We're going to start moving on up. He's going to come straight for you. Also, I told you before, you need to pick one boss weapon to stay with it. I want to be clear on this, because if you start trying to upgrade one weapon, like, oh, I like this better and upgrade that, you're not going to have materials. You're going to be running around with 2 boss weapons at +1, or maybe 1 at +2, and then you're fucked. So, be cautious. Very late game, we could probably get 2 weapons fully upgraded. That doesn't leave you anything for DLC weapons, though. So, as I said, we got to be very cautious about this. Either way, as we move on, I know there's just a lot to cover, if I'm being honest. Trying to find the time to bring it all up. Try to space it out a bit, but, you know, it's what it is. So either way, once we go on up, make sure you do your drop. Drop right here. We're going to grab that. There's going to be 2 areas you can go after this point. So if you go over here to the left, that brings you to the end of what we're doing. So before we do that, we're going to go straight across. Now this is important because we're going to get a quest item for Lucille. Now just kind of wait on her if you can. Oh, I need to see. She'll come to you. Yep, I try to move around. Sometimes I get clear, sometimes I don't. Archbishop's Holy Mark is what we're going to need for her quest. I'm going to pop your chest. Get your next part. I actually really like this one too. It's the best frame you got at this point. A little heavier, but if you notice, we're still not slightly heavier. We're getting close. You can get up to 70%. We're at like 66.5. So, you know, we got to be cautious, but right now our rate's fine. We'll be getting back into capacity before too long anyways. So as we go up from here, we're going to go on out to your right, pick that up. And just like we did before, we do need to push the fire. That's going to clear the path to the boss room. So as we go on here, there's still particularly we want to do things. So this just brings you right back to the start where you can drop down and talk to Lucille. However, before we do that, we need to go down here. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to get to the boss. Or even to where we are. You have to do the whole run around again. So we're going to have to pull this. Now, I'll typically go back. I mean, we could reach her from right there, too. But we still have an item to get. So we'll grab that. Drop off. Go on to the right.
Oh, thank you. It's a reminder.
Lucius, Cecile. I'm so sorry. Cecile. I knew it was something seal. So give her the holy mark.
It's a reminder.
Okay, so you're all caught up. You take out the boss, you come back to her location, we get a record, which we do need for our platinum trophy. So that's how it works. Now, being as we are right here, we're going to go ahead and wrap on up. Next episode, we're going to jump to the start of next episode. We'll be jumping. Yeah, we'll jump back to home base. Go over upgrades, things of that nature, let you know where we are. And then we'll be coming back, doing the guide for the fight, getting through that. We'll have a few quest lines to, close on out. And then obviously we'll be able to get another boss weapon immediately after this, which is really nice, really nice. And we'll talk about that at that time. Now, next episode, I don't expect this to be a long one. We're just tightening up loose ends, bringing all of our optional content to a close. That way we can move on into chapter 5, knowing that there's no stone left unturned. So we're getting all this done and getting you guys ready for the next chapter. So either way, we're gonna wrap up here. You guys stay tuned. We'll catch you back here shortly.